What's going on? What's the word? It's about to awakening, heard all over the world. What's going on? Kimbo, Tata Nzambi, and Mama Ndombe. We honor and acknowledge, excuse me, we honor and acknowledge the seven archangels, the four creatures, the 42 judges, and our elevated Bakulu of the light, elevated Bakulu of the light of antiquity, our warriors of the light, mercenaries of the light. Kimbo. We have with us our loving, wonderful Elder Jabulani, who will be speaking to us about our original time clock. The moon. How to observe the moon as our elevated ancestors and our ancestors of antiquity looked at the moon and was able to discern times, even to know when the Sabbath was. So I might be speaking a little ahead or a little more, but I'm going to turn it over to Elder Jabulani that he may enlighten us and give us a refreshing course and maybe some new things. So, Elder, I don't want to talk too much. Welcome. We love you.
Mbote, thank you very salama. Much. I love you too. Yes. Yeah. Have you given me ability to share the screen?
Yes, sir. Let me. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me. Let me just share the screen. I've got a PowerPoint. Okay, is it clear on your side?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, it is.
Yes, okay. As I'm Jabulani Kabinde, we will talk about the phases of the moon. The content I have is I will show you the 6 gates of the moon together with the sun. I will also show it in Enoch, the book of Enoch, because the book of Enoch has been in detail concerning the moon. Then I'm going to just to share on the recent interesting dates of the moon phases and the sun, because there were many interesting things that have just happened. And I'm just going to get on a bonus. We need to intercede, we need to pray, we need to reason about the accurate place of the equator. You know that we are scientists, we are not only spiritual. So all these things our ancestors used to know. The first one, there are 6 gates. These gates, it's not that literally you will see the gates, but it's the movement where the sun is moving as well as where the moon is moving. So in the beginning, when everything started in the 4th gate. So in the 4th gate, meaning when the sun was lifted up, it first went into what we call the southern hemisphere. Do you remember from the previous presentation? What I call the inner ring is what used to be known as the as a northern hemisphere. Mm-hmm. What is the middle ring is what is used to be called as the southern hemisphere. That's where sub-Saharan Africa is. So where in the equator, you can see around the equator, there the 4th gate and the 3rd gate The third gate is in is in the inner ring, which is the northern hemisphere. What you see as that small ice there is what is called Greenland. Greenland, and the huge ice around the middle ring is what is called Antarctica, is what is surrounding the known Earth. So the moon and the sun are moving through the 6 gates. Wherever the sun is rising from, the moon is also rising from that particular gate. For example, if it's rising from the 4th gate, the moon will also rise from the 4th gate. So we've got the similar gates in the west, where the sun is setting and where the moon is setting. Okay. The scriptural reference, because on my site it gets to be cut. Can you please read it for me, Nzambi Zola?
Yes,
because
sir.
it's cutting on my side.
Yes, sir. So it's a reference for the moon in Enoch, 73, chapter 73, verse 1 through verse 4. After I saw this set of regulations for the sun, I saw another set of regulations concerning the minor luminary whose name is moon. Its roundness is like the roundness of the sky, and the wind drives the chariot on which it rides, and it is given light in varying measure. Its coming out and its going in change every month. Its days are like the days of the sun. And when its light becomes evenly distributed, then it amounts to 1/7 of the light of the sun. In it, the moon rises in this manner. Its head faces the easterly direction, coming out on the 13th day. On that day, that is, on the 13th day, it comes into existence, and it appears with the sun in the gate through which the sun exits, and you have the beginning of the month.
Yes, in these chapters from 73, 74, 75, it gives you the details of the moon, how it is regulated, and how it relates with the sun. So, but I'll explain through here. So now, here, when the moon is at this highest position, we call it the last day of the moon. The moon is at the same level with the sun. So when the moon is at the same level with the sun, at other stages where the moon takes exactly the same position with the sun, the moon causes darkness in the earth. And you must remember that the moon is the representative of the mother, and the sun is the representative of the father. So for both of them to work hand in hand, there needs to be a balance. So at the highest position, the moon is receiving nothing from the sun. So in other words, the children in the earth are getting nothing from there's no light, there's no energy. But as the time goes, we've got what we call the new moon. When the new moon start to descend, you start to have the rays of the sun, they start to penetrate the moon. That's where the new moon, for people who are not in areas where there is too many buildings, you can see it. It's a small light just is appearing around the moon. And the new moon, spiritually speaking, also has energy that is associated with it. That anytime you want to start a project, just to link it with the new moon, where everything is starting now, where the energy is coming, descending towards the children. Remember that the sun is taking, is rotating in the same position, but the moon is going up and going down. So as it descends, it receives the light from the sun, and then it shines the light onto the earth. And as it begins in the west, and as it moves away, it goes towards the east. So I will go straight to day number 14. When you go into the book of Enoch, from day number 14, you've got a full moon. So meaning that it was descending, and as it descends, it gets the energy of the sun, and the moon directs the energy of the sun to the earth. day number 14 is totally full moon, but it's not officially full moon. The official full moon is day number 15, meaning full moon will happen in 3 days. Day number 14, day number 15, and day number 16. And spiritually as well, this is high energy. The energy is now everything that is coming from the sun is reflected into the earth. So when everything is reflected into the earth, spiritually, there are things that we can connect with. Like, for example, if there is a energy that you need to, for going against your enemy, you go for where the energy is closest to you, where the full moon is there with you. You know that the spiritual energies that come from a full moon and the new moons, they work like almost like a gun. It's like anyone who has a gun, if it's a good person, they can use it for positive thing to protect your community. But if somebody also knows this information, but they are of evil intent, they can use the same energy negatively. That's why most of the time when you see the attacks that are coming against us, when you check the dates, most of them, they are coming around new moon or full moon. So those of us who are awoken to understand the power that comes with this, we need to cover our families that that during this time when the evil one is pushing negative things, we need to push positive. We need to protect our people during when this energy is closest to us. Another thing that we have to know about moons is that there's a lunar year, which is the moon year. It is made up of 3 times 30 days, 3 times 29 days, 3 times 30, and 3 times 29, which makes it 364. So when you check this, you must understand that, let's say everything is beginning, you know that it will begin the first day of the lunar year will be a 30 day. But as the years go, the moon drops back by 10 days because the true solar year is 364. So every year, in other words, it will be dropping and dropping and dropping back. And then after 18 years, they reconnect again. So after 18 years, the moon and the solar year, they reconnect again. And when you read the book of Enoch, you'll understand that a day is said to be 18 parts. So it means that the day is 18 parts, but at the same time, the moon itself, it's 18 parts, but the moon is calculated in years. So you can see that the moon is giving you more power because it carries a spiritual significance, and the moon is the mother. If I can just share with you the recent interesting dates that has happened. On the 26th of September 2019, the lunar and the solar years meshed again. And this happened every 36 years. So the positive thing that has happened here during this time is that there was a spiritual awakening for the owners of the earth, which is the Africans or the Bantus. Unfortunately, the negative thing is that the invading demons attempted to kill many of us. The main target for that COVID-19 was the owners of the earth. And condolences to those families that have lost loved ones. But revenge is here. Blood will be paid for blood, life for life. So, but majority of what they tried to do during this time, it turned up negatively against them because they used these powers. They observed the skies. So they tried to use this power that was happening in 2019, and they failed. Even though we know we lost some of our members, but majority of what has happened, it became positive for us because many of us, our eyes were opened during this time. Another great thing that has happened is 31st of August 2023. The full moon, which was called the supermoon, was the first and the last, meaning it was the first moon in a lunar year and the last full moon in a solar year. The positive thing is that the great mother, wisdom, is intensifying her judgment against the wicked ones. Unfortunately, the super scared demons are also intensifying their poison against water, air, and food. So we have to be careful of these things because they know these energies and they use them against us. But for us who are awoken, we need to cover those who are not awoken to be protected during this time of high energies, or like the 31st of December. It was a very, very powerful super moon. These two phenomena will repeat again in the next 36 years and carry with them a significant spiritual energies. So when we understand now the phases of the moon, we will tap in to these energies that are with us because we are spiritual beings. The moon is spiritual, the sun is spiritual. So when we connect with this, we will be able to use these times for our projects and our defense. So another thing that I can emphasize is that from new moon to full moon is always 15 days, but from full moon, for the moon to descend to lose its light is either 15 days or 14 days. It's 15 days when that lunar month is a 30-day lunar month. It's 14 days when that lunar month is a 29-day lunar month. So this is a last slide for the moon. And anyone who has a question, I think I can open the floor to discuss anything related to this.
I have a question. Is there any significance to when we see the sun and moon at the same time, during the day? Is there a significance to that?
There's nothing that I can really think of, but I know that we see the moon and the sun at the same time when the moon is going to be towards full moon. Okay. And you can see it during the day. Yeah, so the only significance is that both the mother and the father are with us. If I can take it in a spiritual, that the mother and father, you can see the mother and the father, they are together with us. But there is nothing specifically that I know what would be the significance. But I know that when we see them both, most of the time is when we are going towards full moon, where we are going to have the greatest energy. So we must know that we're getting the energy from the father, we're getting the energy from the mother, and we know that the mother is the one actually who's closest to us. And when we click with the mother, we know that no one can touch us.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yes, that is. So I know now that when I see something like that, I can at least say both my parents are with me. I see them and they see me.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. If there is no question, I would like us just to discuss something. The last topic. Is there anyone who has a question on the moon cycling? No one. Okay. This is, can I please ask that we participate in this one? Because it's prayer, it's intercession. We're interceding now. Remember that I used to say that the highest form of prayer is reasoning. So now I'm going to put questions and saying I've put A, B, C, D, E. And I'm asking the question, if I say on this ABC, A is Morocco, we'll use Morocco as the example, B is Burkina Faso, and C is Kenya, and D is Zambia, and E is South Africa. So the question is I have is, in these 5 countries, the average summer temperature for these countries, where do you think is the highest average summer temperature for these countries, and what is your reason for that?
Wow. Wow.
School time.
Are we supposed to answer the question?
Yes, please. It's a discussion. This one is an intercession. It's a reasoning session now. We're trying to reason things out now together.
Well,
So we have to answer with whether A, B, C, D, which of those has the hottest climate? Is that the question?
Yeah, which of those countries? I've put A for Morocco, B for
Yes.
Burkina Faso, C for Kenya, D for Zambia, and E for South Africa. I'm asking a question. Out of these 5 countries, which country do you think has the highest average summer temperature, and what is your reason for it?
I said, I would say, is it D? Zambia is borders with Angola, and I was there a few years ago. It was hot, specifically Luanda. I think the heat is, I would say, 15 times than the heat in Cape Town during summer.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. I hear you.
Would it be,
Anyone who has an answer, another answer?
would it be Morocco because it's so deserty and dry?
Okay, I hear the answer. Last one, then let's enter you.
Okay. What is this?
okay. From what we were taught in school, what the colonizers taught us, they said that the country closest to the equator would be the hottest one.
Wow.
Right, I say D.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying D, I'm saying C.
I say D.
I'll say
Because I was on mute, and that's what I was going to say, what she said. Because it's closer to the equator.
Wow, wow. Okay. That's exactly the what I was expecting, the answer. So, but which country is at the equator here? Do you see which country is at the equator?
I'm saying Kenya.
Tanzania.
Kenya. No, it's Kenya, yes. Remember, C is Kenya, B is Burkina Faso, A is Morocco, D is Zambia, E. So the country that is at the equator is Kenya. So the answer
I went to the equator.
Yeah, the equator. So the correct answer is that you expect the country that is at the equator to have the highest average temperature. Okay, that is from school.
Yeah.
So now, and the current equator is going through what? Kenya, meaning all the countries that are linked with Kenya. So now I'm giving you the answers of where the temperatures are. Here are the average temperatures of each and every country I've given. So where is the equator then?
Wow. It would be Burkina Faso.
Yes. They lied about the equator as well.
Right.
The average temperature of Kenya is 25 degrees Celsius. The average temperature of Burkina Faso is 30 degrees Celsius. You can see it from here. If you have your own spare time, Burkina Faso is hitting the highest, and you don't find Kenya even here in the top 10.
Wow.
And I've checked Africa, and I've also went to America. In America, the highest temperature, we'll find it in Aruba. Aruba is just above Venezuela. So when you check here, the true equator is actually through Burkina Faso, going through Aruba just above Venezuela. This is the false equator. So meaning from Burkina Faso downwards is Upper Egypt or Upper Kamahat. It's where most of the things started, the equator. So the current equator is incorrect. So now we've reasoned together, we have interceded. We know that there are so many things that they have lied about. So today I have revealed to you the equator, the correct position of the equator.
Wow.
So I just wanted to bring this up. Sorry?
So when we went to the equator last year, it was not the equator. They had the big sign.
Like anything that comes from these demons is a lie. We need to reason. That's why I always encourage that the highest form of prayer to connect to the Great Mother. Remember, the Great Mother is wisdom. We need to reason things out because most of the things they've lied. So for us, when we bring maybe information to one another, it must be information that has been reasoned out so that we connect to the Great Mother, get wisdom, because many of the things that they've given us, we need to redo them. We need to re-educate ourselves. So many things have been like, I just brought this up as just as a bonus, just to encourage reasoning. That through reasoning, we can be able to get what is correct. I thank you very much for your time. I hand over to you, Nzambi Zola.
Powerful. Powerful. Wow.
Wow.
That was great.
Yes. So, okay, so what is the reason to change, to say, you know, give us like a false equator?
Lie.
How are they going to benefit from telling us the equator is one place when they know it's someplace else?
Okay, one of the main things that they push with false education is that if we become people who just get information, regurgitate it, it gives them an indication that we are not connected to the Great Mother. The Great Mother is wisdom. So if we're not connected to the Great Mother, we are not going to be able to rebuild our great civilization. So for us to be able to rebuild our great civilization, we need to be in a habit of reasoning things out. Because when you reason things out, it's actually meditation. When you meditate, you get to be connected to the Great Mother, and the Great Mother reveals to you things. So when we come out with information, we don't regurgitate what we got from the book, but you get what you got from the Great Mother, who is fire. The Great Mother is fire that purifies the message. So when you got a message, you take it into the fire, and the fire purifies it, so that when you present it with its spirit. Each message must have its spirit, and the spirit of the message comes from wisdom. Wisdom is our creator. Wisdom is the Great Mother. So all of us, we need to have a habit of going deep before we take something as true. Because if we go deep, we start to connect with the creator of the universe. And when we bring messages, we bring revelations. We don't bring just regurgitations of information. Because most of the time, the regurgitation of the information contains blasphemy. For example, if I take the book of Job and I just absorb it and regurgitate it, I'm going to insult the Most High. But if I take the book of Job and go with it into the fire where the great figure sits, where the Great Mother sits, then she attaches spirit to the book of Job. When I come out with only one page. And that one page is about the first wife of Job. That a God that is not serving you, you must leave that. The rest is blasphemy.
Wow.
Did y'all get that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Are you hearing what he's saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's just to encourage that we are going to rebuild our kingdom, and we are going to be working side by side with our mother, and our mother is already revealing things. There are many things that all of us, remember, I was listening to Tamaraya to say Tamaraya is another ancestor that has returned. You can see the passion that she has, but some of I have just to sit back and listen, because we are different ancestors coming back with different things. So there are things that you'll get from me, there are things you'll get from Nzambi Zola, but when we unite, that's when the great civilization we will rebuild. And what we're going to rebuild is far greater than what Kemet was. And it will be done, will be done through reasoning, connecting with the Great Mother.
Yes. That's exciting. That's encouraging. That's powerful. Wow.
Oh my goodness. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? You know, go ahead.
Oh, I'd like to hear that about the wisdom and how those messages come once we dive deeper into them. And so that diving would be meditation. And someone just told me that it doesn't make sense to regurgitate the words because if you don't understand them according to your understanding, you just it doesn't even make a dent into the wisdom that the Most High would bring, or the I'm just trying to fix this to know what to do with it.
If I can say something real quick, and I know Elder Jabulani, you probably have a response for her. But if I could just say real quick, I shared this with Brenda a couple weeks ago. When you look at our school system, and when you look at the way the church is set up, it's all about regurgitating what you've been told.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
They will read out of the Bible, study to show thyself approved unto God, that a workman be not ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But everyone sitting in church will look to the pastor to get the truth. And whatever comes out of that pastor's mouth, they take it. And then if they go talk to somebody else, they're regurgitating what the pastor said.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now when you ask them a question about what they said, they can't give you a deeper answer.
Right.
Okay. Same setup in school. It's the same exact setup in school. But the one thing that I love about the school on the continent, they make you think. Okay. You have to think. They don't want you to regurgitate. They want you to think. So when we look at the scriptures and we begin to read the scriptures, now what we got to do with these scriptures is, as Elder Jabulani would tell us every now and then, take it to your mother and father and ask them. And ask them to show you, to open your eyes. Now, this is where mom comes in. Wisdom, as he was speaking, and begin to show you and break it down, because now you're awakened. So there are things that you can see. And she's showing you and opening it up to you. So then you could start now taking part of that scripture and throwing it away, because you realize it was added. So just like he explained about the book of Job, he said, when you take that book, all those pages, and you go through the fire with it, put it through the fire, what's going to come out is one page.
Wow. Wow.
Elder, if you have anything to say.
Yes, you put it well, because like what I've done today, for example, the information has come into your soul. Your soul is the bar. So from the soul, the information, it is on your plate now, that you must take it down into the car, into the spirit, to verify the information. Because what happens is that we had an angel that was working with us. His name was Aziza. Some they call him Aziza. Some was call him Azazel. Some are call him Gadriel. That angel was working for the Most High for 5 generations. In the 6th generation, that angel changed. He was teaching us wrong things. So now, if you don't have a habit of, when you get an information, that you must make sure that it becomes your first-hand revelation by going into the spirit. I can come and teach you correct things for 5 seasons, but in the 6 seasons, let's say pride comes into me, then I start to teach you wrong things. Then you are going to fall. So all the time when an information is brought, we must always take it down into the fire so that the mother can attach a spirit to it. Because what has happened to us with Azazel, he taught us how to slaughter. He taught us many deep things, but by the time he's teaching us wrong things, we're not aware, because all along he was teaching us correct things. So the soul is the ba, which is the masculine. The spirit is the ma'at. That's where the mother and father, that's where ma'at, you know, is represented as a feminine. That's where the mother sits. When you've got the masculine and the feminine balanced, you've got what you need. Once you've got only the masculine by itself, you'll find that I will come with knowledge, the knowledge that has not been tested. Then I'm becoming pumped up by the message, by the knowledge. You find that a person that brings out a message without putting it down into the fire, most of the time you will be pumped up. That's why it says, do not be puffed up with knowledge, because knowledge can puff you up. Mm-hmm. So that when you present it to show off instead of empowering. So when the knowledge is sitting in the bar, in the masculine only, we are running with the risk of blaspheming the Most High, and at the same time, you will be puffed up with the knowledge. But if you bring it down into the fire, you are coming with a knowledge that is masculine and feminine, so it will be caring. It will be about saving, because the mother is the savior. The mother is the carer. So once you have it from both sides, we are having a balanced message.
Oh, powerful, powerful. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes,
ma'am. How do you correctly meditate?
Correctly meditate. The main thing that has helped me is to understand the name of our Creator that is beautiful. For example, if let's say you are talking about, let's say you are taking something from the Bible or from the book of Enoch, then you want to meditate to get what is correct. If we can believe that the name of our Creator is beautiful, it assists where they've added the insult against our father and our mother. Because, for example, if you go to the book of Joshua, for example, and they tell you that the Creator told us to go into Canaan and murder all the Canaanites and take over the lands. When you meditate about that, knowing that the name of our Creator is beautiful, you know something is not adding up. So we've got to believe that the name, which when we talk about the name of our Creators, talk about their characteristics. The characteristic of our mother and father, it's a glorious characteristics. It's not this cruel characteristics that has been presented to us, that you just go and then you kill. Then they tell you that when the donkey has a firstborn, you need to offer a lamb. If you don't offer a lamb, you need to break the neck of the donkey. Imagine to break the neck of a donkey. When you meditate about that, you will see that's not the characteristic of our Creator.
It's cruel.
It's cruel. Mm-hmm. So it helps in meditation when you, in your heart, you take it that the name of our father and mother is beautiful. So some things you are going to take them out based on the fact that you say, this is overboard. I don't believe that my Creator can do such a thing. But basically meditation is reasoning things out. Because it's not, remember, true prayer is not really to make noise and say all those things. Yeah. True prayer is just sitting down and going deep. Quiet. Because it's a still small voice that speaks through us. Because it's a revelation that comes deep. Then by the time it's out, then you can see yourself say, oh, wow, what a powerful thing. Because we get to be surprised sometimes when the Most High is revealing things, say, oh, this thing, I took it wrong. And now the Most High is bringing you to the correct thing. It's just sitting down, knowing that prayer is not always just about making noise. Sometimes when we're making noise, it's actually to praise. You know, when we say that Nzambi, you created the mountains, you created the sea. That is praising, it's not prayer. So, but in religion, it has been given to us as if that is prayer. Prayer is just sitting down and becoming deep, thinking about the subject deeply, connecting to the name of the Most High, knowing that the name of the Most High is beautiful and is glorious.
You know,
Wow.
and I would like to add to that. That was beautiful, excellent explanation. Maria, I just went to Brenda. I don't know if it was yesterday or day before yesterday, and I said to her, I want to understand really about meditation. Okay. And I don't know if she will give me her voice. She just came down, so that's why I said that. But I was going to share with you what she said about no, just give us your voice. Tamara, yeah, asked the question, how do you meditate? Correct? That was
Yeah.
your
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you meditate? So I'm going to ask her to share what she shared with me.
CME, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Not able to be with you today, working on some things that I'm behind on, and I have a deadline that I have to get it done. Y'all don't want me going to jail.
No, we don't want you to go to jail.
Absolutely not.
So I got to get this taken care of. But meditation, from my limited understanding, is different types of meditation that you can do. You can do the vibration of the voice with the they said, which is the sound of the universe. The earth makes a vibratory sound, and that's where they get the and when you do it, you'll feel a frequency. So some people do that. And then you can have the meditation where you just thinking of a certain word and concentrating on the word, because the main thing is helping you to just concentrate, focus, and to close out all the outside noises, because you want to tap in the inside. And then you have one where you can just meditate on breathing exercises, breathing in, focusing on your breathing. And that takes time and work to do that. So you can do, as you can think on things that you want to bring in, like when you breathing in, you could say, as you breathing in, I'm inhaling peace, and then you hold it for a little bit, and then you exhale and say, as you exhale, and whatever you want to release, chaos, which is the opposite of peace. And you keep doing it and breathe. I breathe in success, and then when you exhale, you exhale, and you're thinking these things. You're not saying them because you're thinking on them, and you'll get to the point where you don't have to do that, and you could just focus on your breathing. And because you don't want to really think on anything when you're doing certain ones. Sometimes you do, and you want to make notes of it because you're getting information from that inner voice, which is your ancestors, the Most High. And that takes time doing that. I'm just starting to get to that point with my meditation where I'm starting to hear their voices as I meditate. Really hearing it. And to give you all an example of that, I was meditating and I heard follow your path. I kept hearing follow your path, follow your path. You have your path, follow your path. And I woke up at 3:33. I looked at my phone, YouTube. Later on, I went back to sleep and I looked on my phone, and this was within the same week. As I woke up later on, I came to YouTube and I found on YouTube, the first thing that popped up on my YouTube screen was it was a guy talking about the 33rd, the importance of the 33rd degree, which I thought was very odd. Here it is. I woke up at 3:33 and I did my declarations of go back to bed, and I wake up again. And then I go to the importance of the 33rd degree. Now, mind you, I heard like 3 days before in meditation, follow your path. So when I pulled up that video, since it popped up, I said, let me see what he's saying. The guy was just talking about the significance of spiritual and esoteric meanings of the number 33. Then he goes on to say that you follow your path. I said, you can't make this stuff up. Within the same week,
make this stuff up.
You can't. I hear them telling me as I'm meditating, follow your path. Then I wake up at 3:33. Then I pull up something about the 33rd degree. And then he says in there, follow your path. So meditation also have, did I answer your question on how to meditate? Because this, in short, there's different types of meditation, and it takes time because you want to empty your mind. You don't want to think about, oh, I got this bill to pay. Oh, I need to do this. You don't want, because you tap into that inner source in the inside of you. You know, the Bible says greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So when you go inside, you're tapping into the spiritual. You know, what's inside of you. You know, you hear the voices of the Most High. You hear the voices of your ancestors of the light, giving you direction, guiding you, even telling you, you know, something that may prevent harm coming to you. So you go into that inner man. And, you know, the Bible talks about meditation a lot. And so I don't understand why in Christendom, they don't focus on meditation, considering the spiritual and the physical benefits behind meditation. When you research meditation, you will see that it helps lower the blood pressure. Those people that meditate, they are more creative. It's a host of things, host of benefits that are related to, but the most important thing that why I do it is to tap into that inner man, to get that peace, because you become you have a calmness about you. A lot of things don't worry you anymore when you start meditating and doing it on a routine basis. It takes practice, Tamara. It takes practice. You can't sit there and say, and you meditating and nothing is coming to your head. I'm not going to tell you that. Things will pop into your head sometimes, because I've been doing it now off and on for about 1.5 years. So things sometimes still pop in my head. Not that much though, because I've done it enough to where I can focus on my breathing or focus on my intent of what I'm breathing in and breathing out or whatever.
Yeah. Well, emptying my mind, that's the hard thing.
That's the hardest thing.
You know?
Is the what?
Emptying your mind. It's a hard thing for me to do, because things always pop up. You know, you got to do this, you got to do that. And when you get finished doing this, and you got to do that. And then, you know, you think about family member or whatever, you know, or just anything, a bill, this bill that wasn't paid yet, or you got to pay this bill. Don't forget to do that. I mean, just little things that pop up into your mind, which distracts you from meditating.
Yeah, and it takes, that's why I say it takes time, so you won't start thinking on those things, because I don't think on those things generally. Like I say, every now and then something may pop in, but I've been doing it long enough to where they don't, because when you get there, you will see that inner peace that you have, that you just want to, you say, well, I really don't have time to do it, and you sit there and you just want to sit there because you are in such a peaceful state when you're doing it, and you're not thinking on, you know, the outside, the influences of the outside world. So I would say to you, focus on something like breathing. You know, when you go to sleep, they used to tell people with children when they was young, count the sheep, count the sheep, count the sheep. So you imagine it in your head, you seeing the sheep jumping over the fence or whatever, you counting the sheep or whatever in your head. It's the same thing, same concept, basically. It's just you're focusing on one thing. So try focusing on your breathing in and out and controlling it. You know, when you breathe in, hold it for a few seconds and then exhale and hold it at that point for a few seconds, and then breathe in again and out. So just make it a conscious effort to focus on something. You're breathing, not the outside world, but you're breathing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I hope that helps. Did that help?
Yes.
That's powerful because Brenda, it's so hard for us as humans to calm ourselves down and take ourselves away. So even like Brenda said, do it for 5 minutes, do it for 10 minutes, because it's something that has to be practiced.
Yes, it does.
To shut everything down, calm it down. I used to tell myself, okay, this is meditation time.
Mm-hmm. And
That
that
means it's
helps too.
quiet time.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, Mama
I keep
Bantu,
telling
but
myself,
you made a good point.
you're right.
You need to have a set time. So my time is after I do my declarations, because you need to do it early in the morning or when you're getting ready to go to bed. Because
Yes,
when you
quiet.
get up in the morning, it's not a lot of things on your mind. As you get busy during the day, if you try to do it, you have a lot of things on your mind. When you are getting ready to go to bed, you winding down. So in the morning and before you go to bed, but mine is in the morning time early because it's very quiet. Most of you all get up and do your declarations around the same times and your petitions around the same time as I in that time frame. So after that, I do my meditation. I have a certain place where I go and meditate. So you need to get yourself set up in a routine. Remember, we're spiritual beings, and in the word spiritual, you have rituals. So you're doing rituals to connect to the spirit realm. That's why it's called spiritual. So that is a ritual. That is one particular. So if you can't say you're spiritual, I read this somewhere and I agree with it. You can't say that you're spiritual if you don't have any rituals, because the word is comprised of rituals to help you connect to the divine spirit realm.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Just to add on what Mama Brenda has said, when you talk about the rituals, remember one of the great rituals that we used to have is the Sabbath. Just to have a day where all of us, we know that on this time, we're just going to be concentrating on the Most High. So I believe that, let's say all of us, we become one. We know that during this day, we are not disturbing each other. There's no phone call that is going to come. We know that we are focusing on connecting with the Most High. So that ritual, it used to help us to be able to go deeper with the Most High and to have less thing to think about, because we know that this day has been put aside just to concentrate to the Most High.
Right.
Yes. Thank you for that. That is another one, the samba. So just like today, we have used this, we set aside this day at this particular time to come together and to talk about the Most High, our ancestors, and the things that will help us to grow spiritually and to become the light of the world of who we are, to help us to grow and to learn about the things of our ancestors of the past that enable them to be so great, like the learning about Ma'at. So like he said, this is a ritual. This is a ritual. When you do your petitions and declarations, this is a ritual. When you do libations to your ancestors, that's a ritual. When you do your bathing, your cleansing, your spiritual cleansing, that's a ritual. It's a lot of rituals that you can do. And as we are awakened and our DNA awakens more inside of us, more and more will come to us. And that's what I was telling Nzambi about the meditation. I was asking him about, are you doing this? Are you having more downloads and blah, blah. He said, well, I've been doing it as deeply and as long as you have. I said, well, as you begin to do it, you will begin to hear their voices as you meditate. Like yesterday, I was sitting up under the dryer and I put on and I shared this in the group and I was listening to it and I began to just meditate and I just went off and I started hearing so much. And again, in that, I heard follow your path, and I got a revelation within that, even deeper revelation about following my path. And this is the importance of the meditation since she asked a question about meditation, so that you can get direction from your ancestors of the light and the Most High of the light, not only just dreaming and visions, but even through meditation, because as I stated, you're going inside to hear that voice, and inside of you is the Most High. Not only is the Most High, who is your father, but also our ancestors. Remember, we say that I am my ancestors and my ancestors are me. You know, their blood is flowing through my vein. Their DNA is flowing through my, as a matter of fact, when I touch my skin, this matter here, this is the matter of my ancestor, the first mother. When I touch that skin or look at that skin, that is the first mother matter, where that word mother come from. I'm touching her. So I am my ancestors. So we go inside, and that's what I was telling somebody real quick that was talking about church. They asked me, when you going back to church? I said, I am the church. And then I said, I said, don't the Bible say that you read that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world? I said, and the Bible also says that he does not dwell in temples made by man's hands. I said, so again, he's inside of me. So where I go, so does he go. They wanted to cut the conversation off after that because, you know, you use the word on them to discredit what they're saying. And then people are ready to stop talking with you at that particular point. So we go into the greater that's inside of us. We go into the wise, the wisdom, the ancestors that have great wisdom, and our Father, and that's given us insight as well. So, but our ancestors mainly are there because they're closer to us. They're, you know, once you connect with them. So I'm gonna get a microphone back to Nzambi. He's reaching for it. He got something to say.
You know, all of this is really powerful, and you know, Queen, this is helping me as well. Okay, and I just want to elaborate on what Elder Jabulani has said earlier, as well as what Brenda has said. Elder Jabulani said to focus on the name of the Father and how beautiful it is, right? And so when we sit down to meditate, it's going to take practice to throw everything else out of your mind. And look, I'm the same way, because I start sitting down to meditate and different things about gardening, you know, will start coming in my head. Okay. So I have to I have to put those things aside. But one thing that we can do is this, and to know this: when we start thinking about the great and powerful name of Tata Nzambi, not only are we looking at the name, but we're looking at who he is, his character, his power, how creative he is. He is the ultimate creator. And then we look at our mother and how loving and caring she is. When we begin to start focusing on all of this, watch this, we're also tapping and focusing in on our elevated Bakulu of the light. Because each and every time that we come to the throne and begin to start talking to him, our elevated Bakulu of the light hear it as well. So when we meditate, we are literally speaking to the host of Zulu. And we're asking them, pour into me. We're asking Mama Ndombe, give me wisdom. We're asking Tata Nzambi, make me more like you, because you're a creator and I am made in your image, after your likeness. Therefore, as you are, I am. So because you are God, I am God. And I breathe it in. I am that I am. And I exhale what the church taught me, saying I'm a servant. I'm not a servant. I'm a child of Tata Nzambi.
It's contradictory. It's contradictory. So you guys know I love you all, and I love spending time with you all. We learn from each other. So I have to get up and go because I get to talking and listening. But you know what came to mind? First, I want to just quickly comment on what you said about they said that I'm a servant. There's a lot of contradictory in organized religion, Christianity, Western Christianity, because then they say they are a child of God. So which are you? Because if my son said, "Oh, I'm her son," he's not my servant. That's my child. So you can't be both. You're either one or the other. You're not going to have your child as a servant. That is a poor parent to have your child as a servant. Who would do that? Right. So I don't know what type of schizophrenic God that they are worshiping in organized religion, but that is not the type of God that we serve, that our ancestors served. He sees us as his children. That's why we said Bana Nzambi. We are his children. So that's very contradictory of them to say that they are a child of the Most High and then turn around and say they are a servant of his. No, we are his children. Now, there may be things that he have us to do. Yes, like we have certain things that we have our child does, our children that they have to do, but they're not our servant. We're doing that to help them to become what they are supposed to become. Likewise, our father, Tata Nzambi, when he instructs us to do something, it's for our benefit, not his benefit. Benefit. Now, the second thing that I want to quickly jump to before he moves on is on the ancestral. I think it was Ancestral Voices that I was reading this, and you said, Elder Jabulani said that when to think of the name Tata Nzambi, that is a very powerful name. Nzambi. No name is more powerful than that name. So I was reading, and like I said, I think it was Ancestral Voices. They said the deity that you focus on or you concentrate on, you begin to become one in the spirit with that deity that you're focusing on. So when demons or evil entities try to come to you, once you become one with that deity, they will no longer see you. They will see that deity. So as you become one and you focus on that name, Tata Nzambi, the demons will see Tata Nzambi and not you, and they will tremble. Not at you, but what's inside of you, what they see Tata Nzambi, his image. And that's where we're trying to get.
Yes. Yeah, this is good. So between Elder Jabulani and Mama Brenda and you too and Tina Nzambi, I'll be able to meditate now. Because I know what to focus on. I know what to do. I mean, this is really good. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Matondo. Mama Brenda said to tell you Kadiambu Oko.
Oh, come on. Now she's being cute. What does that mean?
You're welcome.
Oh gosh, now I gotta learn that word too.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
You were
you saying powerful something? Class, powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you saying something, Elder Jabulani?
No, I was saying Matondo. I was responding to Tamaraya.
Oh, okay.
Sandra.
And
I want to add one more thing. Meditation is in our DNA. It's just something that we have forgotten. It's there. So once you tap into it, you look forward to just sitting before him, listening to him, going deep within him. And it's a practice to set yourself aside, set those quiet times. I put some just instrumental music in the background in the other room, so that the atmosphere. I like my sage to get whatever distraction that's in the room away from me, and I go to one spot and I just sit before him, calling him, thanking him, concentrating on him. So if anything comes into your head that's trying to distract you, you say, no, no, no. This is a time I'm sitting before my mother and my father. And your spirit will begin to calm down, and you will enjoy the presence of them coming, because you are making that time for them.
Yes.
Purposely.
Yes.
Purposely.
Yes. Yes. And you're
And it's
right.
something that you enjoy.
You're right. You know, burn the different incense. You know, frankincense and myrrh is ours. It's in Africa. You know, it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
can take that from us, because the origin of where they find these things, even to this day, is
It's
on the
in
continent.
Africa.
So our ancestors used that, and this representative of the frankincense and myrrh. Frankincense is, if I'm getting it right, is the feminine, and the myrrh is the masculine.
Myrrh is
So,
the masculine.
yeah, you put them
yes.
together to balance, and you can put it in there in your incense and burn it. Like she said, frankincense is very powerful from a spiritual and physical perspective as well, because it cleans the atmosphere of any pathogens, but also it clears the atmosphere from a spiritual perspective and cleanse it, you know, just like the what was the a lot of people, the sage, just like the sage cleanse too, and drive away negative energy, but yet by the same token, it also cleanses and get rid of pathogens, bacteria and things in the atmosphere. So we have to remember, as above, so below. And that's what I was telling somebody, that they thought doing a salt bath was demonic. I'm like, okay, you have to look at what salt does, because salt is in the Bible. I said, so how can it be demonic when the Bible talks about it so much? As above, so below. So if it cleanses in the physical, natural sense, well, then it has to cleanse in the spiritual sense. And I gave her the scripture where the people were getting sick, dying, or whatever in that particular passage. I forgot what book it was. And then the prophet asked for a cruise or a salt, and he put it in the water. And some versions said, and the water was what? Healed.
Healing.
So you use heal. When you use salt, salt is in your body.
Yes,
and
that's right.
When your sodium chloride is off, you're off. It can mess up the rhythm of your heart. We're electrical beings.
Yes.
And so salt is very important. Salt and water, very important in the spirit realm. So I don't know. We've been so messed up with organized religion. I was thinking about this
so messed up
with some of the things that I'm doing now. If I would have thought about this 20 years ago, or even 20 years ago, I was thinking that some things I'm doing now is demonic. I'm like, God, they really messed up our minds.
They did.
So they you can put on your frankincense and your myrrh, like she said, and certain type of music. Even if you can find some African music to
it's on YouTube. African music, meditation music, music with the drums, the chimes, the ifa. You put that on in the background, because now you're setting the stage for your mind to understand that this is a sacred time that you're stepping into.
And a sacred place.
In a sacred place, all distractions have to be dismissed. You're setting up your ritual. You're setting up your altar. You're setting up the atmosphere in the home. So when you go to meditate, that's you and him and Zulu. And nothing, it's like nothing is allowed to come through that. It's so powerful when you set yourself up to meditate, to worship, to sit before him. The whole atmosphere will change. And you won't think about gardening.
And think about
and those bills and those grandchildren, your children. What am I gonna cook? What am I eating?
What am I gonna eat tonight?
Yeah, and you know what you said, it was powerful what both of you said. I see you in Kosikangi. When they were talking, when you all was talking about, you know, this is sacred, you know, everything that you do, the setup is sacred. And it made me think in the Bible about Massa, when it said that he told him to remove the shoes from off his feet, for this is
holy ground.
Yes. It made me think about that, because now when we get everything set up,
yes,
right? Oh, hear me now. When we get things set up, getting ready to meditate, we're now going into the present.
Woo!
So we are entering holy grounds.
Now,
all right?
take your shoes off and meditate.
And Brenda will tell you, and I know that she does this. When we get ready to do our meditations, I take my shoes off.
Yes, you have to take your shoes off.
Yes.
Yeah.
I take them off before I go into the room. I take my hat off. I take my glasses off.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I go with an open heart, open mind. Okay. Even though I may not quite understand.
Yes.
But I'm saying I'm coming as I am.
That's right.
That's it.
And I want to learn, because I want to receive more.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
and I'm getting excited. So go ahead, and Kosikangi. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay.
I'm getting worked up here, y'all.
You're getting worked up. It's true.
I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask a question if anyone had experienced that. I've gotten to now when I meditate, and say if I have a question that I want to ask Tata Nzambi and Mama Ndombi or my righteous Bakulu, I'll ask the question, and then a thought just comes to my mind with an answer. And I know that I didn't have that answer. I believe that that's Tata Nzambi or my Bakulu's speaking back to me within me. I don't know. I may sound like talking crazy.
No, that's true.
No,
that's correct.
That's correct.
They are here. They are here in us, with us, around us. They listen to our voice and they answer us back in our spiritual realm.
Yes, the heavenly hosts are around us. You remember, and I forgot about this when you were talking. You said something that made me remember this particular passage. Man, when I think about what we're learning about our ways that have been stripped from us since we've been, taken off the motherland, and reading some things in the Bible as we learn, like, oh, that's ours. When it says that Christ said that when you see me, you see the Father. So erroneously, they think that that's actually him. But what he's saying is that he's inside of me. And my image reflects him. My character reflects him.
Yes.
So when you see me, you see the Father, because I am an image of him, not only physically, but also inside with my characteristics.
Yes.
Yes.
So remember, I told you, as we meditate and we begin to meditate, as Elder Jabulani said, on that name of Tata Nzambi, and just meditating on him, what you're doing is you're calling on him. You're calling on his presence to come forth. And the more you do that and call on his presence, because it's energy. So you're calling that energy, you're calling that power, you're calling that presence to come forth, and it's coming forth with you. And the more you begin to do it, the more his presence is with you. That is why they said those demons will no longer see you, they will now see the Father.
Yes.
So when you see me, you see the Father.
The Father. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
So awesome. How many times have people say, you look just like your daddy? You look just like your mama.
There you go.
You must be so-and-so's son. You must be so-and-so's daughter. You look just like your mom and daddy. And that's and that's the interpretation of what she said. Very powerful. To sit in his presence is the most powerful thing that we can do.
Yes.
And get his download.
It was like a charge that just went through my body.
Yeah, it should have. It should have, y'all, because what she was doing was making us realize exactly who we are.
Who we are.
Okay. It was igniting that spark that's in you, that fire. It was igniting that and saying, wake up. This is who you are.
That's right.
Tap
That's
into it.
That's it. That's
That was
it. That's it.
remembrance.
Daddy is waiting.
Yes.
And Mama is waiting. And our ancestors are waiting for us to sit before them and be quiet.
Yes.
Reverence them.
Yes.
Triggering. I was getting ready to go. I was getting something to trigger. I told myself I got to go back up and get started again. But Mama Bantu said something as I was closing the refrigerator that made me think of something.
I thank you. Hi.
Yes. And it was oh my goodness. I got so excited now when I heard that, and it triggered something in me. I forgot what it was though. What was it, Father?
You look like your mama, you look like your daddy. I was saying.
Not that one. It'll come back to me, but she got me excited when she said that. It'll come back. I guess they telling me it was something to do with, I know, about them telling you something and giving you direction. You were saying so it was something along that line that she was talking about, and it made me remember something because she said they're waiting on you, because when I went to Africa,
They're waiting.
Nzambi, yes, they're waiting on us. When I went to Africa, I've shared this with you all before. I was up. I've always been getting up at 3 o'clock. Even when I was in Christianity is when it started. I heard a voice told me to get up, quote unquote, start praying and just reading the word. And I would hear things, but inside of me, that voice. So, but anyway, when I went to Africa, I was up 3 o'clock and I was out on the balcony looking up at the stars and just talking to the Most High. And I heard something say, these are your ancestors. And they know that you are back home. And I began to cry. And you begin to look in the scripture. It supports it, that talked about, how they will be like the stars in the sky and the sand of the sea. And when you start researching what stars are, hey, you will get that revelation. So when I was meditating, I told you all yesterday, and this is going along with what Mama Bantu said. I heard a voice say, we've been waiting on you.
We've been waiting on you.
And said, remember when you went to Africa and you heard they've been waiting on you and they know you're home? We've been waiting on you. And I heard some other things too. I was sharing with Nzambi. I mean, when it's just awesome when you begin. This was when I was meditating. So that what I sent you all, you can use that to Maria to help you, because that's what I was using. I just went on the inside and I just closed out everything with that.
Everything.
With the last thing, with that frequency, that music, because music is powerful. So it was a music with a certain frequency, 546, I think, frequency that helps you relax, helps you meditate. And I went in and I was hearing some things. I was telling Nzambi, that's not the only thing that I heard, but I just wanted to share that particular part where they said, we've been waiting on you. And we're waiting for you to return home. And I started asking questions like Brother Kongi said. I started asking them questions about my return home. And hey, I didn't get the answer I wanted at that time. They told me it's in your heart. 528. Wow. It's inside of your heart. It's in your heart. It's in you. I said, but I just kept hearing, it's inside of you. It's in your heart.
Wow. That's powerful. On that part of waiting on us. Wow, that's a very, very powerful statement, because you can see the mother, the father, and the son are working. But for us as Africans, we are just arguing. But for us, if we can start working with the mother, the father, and the son, the nature is putting the enemy, like they are against the wall. They are not arguing. They are working together. The sun is pushing the enemy. But for us, they are waiting for us. Around the eyes that you saw there, they are standing, waiting for us. That is a powerful statement that you've made. They are waiting for us. Because remember, this is a spiritual warfare. It works with the mouth.
Yes.
We need to release things with the mouth.
Yes.
So if we do nothing, we only argue. Instead of working together, reasoning together, coming up with strategies so that as they attack the enemy this side, we attack the enemy this side. They are waiting for us. We need to start now to work with them. Nature is working on our side.
Yes.
Powerful statement, Thank you.
And when I first got to Africa, a word whispered in my ear, daughter, welcome home. And I start crying. Crying. And so one of the African men that was helping me take my baggage to the car, he said, don't touch her. She is worshiping her ancestors. They are welcoming her home.
Oh my gosh.
And I started crying even more. He made everybody back up. She has come home and her ancestors said, welcome, or something like that. He said, and it was 12 o'clock at night and I cried. I said, I made it back. I'm your stolen child who made it home.
Hallelujah.
So they are waiting for us and to be a part of the warfare that's going on with us. It's going on now in the world. We need to be in sync with the instructions that they're giving us and the wisdom that they're giving us. And that's the most powerful thing. So meditation is a very powerful part of our existence and our walk with him, because the information that he's giving us is strategic, time sensitive, and we have to hear and do.
So we know we was talking about rituals, you all, and we know that we have a full moon, and we saw the moon last night, and it was so huge and beautiful last night.
Beautiful.
It was I said it has to be a super moon. I told Nzambi, I said, look at it. So it was a super moon, they said. It is a moon, they said, for us to step into the newness, to walk into newness. That what you want, the old, getting rid of the old, and it's time for you to focus on that what you want to do. And I didn't know it, but we started writing down things that at the full moon, what we want to be taken out of our lives, ripped out of our lives. And there are some things that I just said, I'm going to write these things down. And one of them was to remove the ways of the mundelis that have become a part of me, that are contrary to Tata Nzambi and that of my ancestors of the light. Free me of it, rip it from me, from my conscious, my subconscious, so that I can do what I've been called to do. We have to acknowledge that we have taken upon, we've been over here for over 400 years, and we have taken on ways that are not our ways. And it has impacted us in a very negative way.
Yes.
And it has put a bondage, a chain, some chains that are around us from preventing us from doing what we are supposed to do. So I asked to be freed of that. And I burned it and buried it. As I burned this here letter, this writing, that which I wrote on here, it shall be burned. And I buried it as it burned, and repeated with it being buried, so that part which is hindering me from, as Elder Jabulani said, and Mama Bantu, from doing what they're telling us to do, to just do it, because they're waiting. The hindrance on my part, remove it. Free me of it.
Yes.
Because we have work to do, family. All of us have work to do to rebuild what has been torn down.
Yes.
And they're waiting for us to come home to rebuild.
Yes.
And the latter shall be greater. No, I'm sorry. The former shall be greater than the latter, is what it says. So that which we're getting ready to build is going to, this payment was great. Let's wait till they start working, and that's when we come home. We already see them working. Our grandson, the youngest one, not quite 2 years old. He will be 2 in November. And we be telling him, there's the moon, look at the moon. And he be looking for the moon when he go out. He be wanting to see the moon. And he was the one I shared with you all in the group. Those that are in the group know this already. It was he that alerted us 3 days ago where the moon was full. It wasn't a super moon, the big moon that we saw last night, but it was full. And he started, my daughter-in-law said he started jumping up and down. He was talking about the full moon. He called it the big moon. Not even 2 years old.
Already connected.
But what my point is, you all, ancestors of antiquity have returned in these young people. These young people are different.
Yes. Yes. They're here to teach us something.
Yeah.
And Nzambi made a point. He said, that's why the scripture said, I have called the young because they are strong.
That's right. That's
because
right.
like we were talking about, I said, it's not too many, older people in this awakening. I said, Mama Bantu is one of them. She's very rare. You don't find a lot like her, people her age in this awakening. I said, it's the younger people. And that's when he said, the scripture says that he has called the young because they're strong.
That's right. That's right. That's right. What a time to be alive. What a time.
All right. She's gone. Hallelujah. Mama Bantu, you were talking earlier and there was some things that was being dropped in my spirit and it just brought me to tears. And what was dropped in my spirit was we have to be empowered before we return home. Now, when we get home, there's going to be more that we will be endowed with. But we have to return in order to be able to speak to our brothers and sisters on the continent who are yet asleep. And we have to be empowered now. And we will be. We will be. We are learning so much. And this is why that question was asked, Matondo Masaka, for asking that Queen Tamara Ya about meditation. Because it is through meditation that we will be empowered.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And so when we connect and they begin to speak to us, it's going to, we're pretty much there now. Watch this. I'm going to tell you why I say that. It's going to get to a point where we will speak and we're going to see things happen immediately. And I say that because of this. I was in the garden about 3 days ago, something like that. And I was picking my pole beans. And as I'm reaching up, cutting the beans, taking them off, this bumblebee. Now, let me give you a quick story about me and bumblebees. And I'm talking about them big black and yellow fat bumblebees. Okay. You hear them coming a mile away. All right. When I was younger, I had a BB gun and I was shooting at one of the bumblebees. It was kind of down the hill at our house and I'm shooting at it. It was in a flower. This bumblebee raises up and he's moving like
yes.
this.
Yes.
Yeah, looking at me. And it starts coming closer. I start backing up. You know that sucker chased me in the house?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But
they're very aggressive.
Yes. But see, stupid me didn't know that. I was
you were just a kid. You were just a kid doing what kids do.
Right. I was messing with him. So ever
and
since
he said,
then,
let me teach you the bumblebee said, let me teach this youngster a lesson.
And it taught me. It didn't get me. I outran it. but it taught me don't mess with them. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm at my pole beans and I'm cutting the beans out. And this bumblebee that was pollinating the flowers, I saw it and I kept doing what I was doing. And it came and it was buzzing like this at me. Right. And I looked at the bee. I said, all right, now. I said, listen, I'm doing my thing. So you
That's
go
right.
about your business and you do your thing.
That's it. That's
Right.
it.
Do
That's
you
it.
know that bee
Power.
turned and went,
Yes.
it left?
Went the other
Yes.
way.
Yes.
Yes. It's so true.
Yes.
It's so true.
Yes.
Because we can talk to them. We can command them to do what they're supposed to be doing. I do it all the time. I have bees on the porch. I say, okay, beautiful bee. Thank you for pollinating my flowers. Thank you very much. You stay over there. I'm over here doing something. And they'll just bounce around and then they'll go away.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell them to go. I'm minding my business.
Yes,
You're
you tell them to go.
have something else, something to do. Just go and do it and get out of my face.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. And they'll obey.
Yes, they do.
Yes. Yes.
Because we are co-creators.
Exactly.
They have to listen to us.
Exactly.
And we have dominion over the land.
All right.
Thank
now.
you.
There you go. There you go. And
Right there,
this is what the earth was waiting for. Waiting for us to wake up and our return to our rightful position. So yes, so we must be empowered some more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We have to be empowered more so that when we go home and we start speaking, the people, our brothers and sisters on the continent, they will see.
They will know.
And they will know. Yes, this is who I am. This is who I'm supposed to be. So instruct me.
Yes.
Instruct me.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of them awakened on the continent. A lot of
them are waking on the continent. A lot of them are waking up because they're tired. They're tired of the poverty. They're tired of the white boy who's supposed to be on the cross having no power to change this situation. They are tired. I got in a car today. I'm gonna say this real quick. Got in a car today coming back from the grocery store, and the guy was so happy. Mom, Mother Bantu. I said, you know me? He said, you drove. I drove you from this spot to the mall to here. You don't remember last year? Look at my car. I said, okay. I don't have the crucifix on my car anymore because you told me. You told me that the church doesn't belong to the African man. Now I'm taking my family out of the church and we're doing our rituals. We're back at that. And he was so happy. I gave him my apple. And he said, God bless you. God bless you, Mom. God bless you, Mom. God bless you, Mom. I am empowered, he said. I am in power now. All right. You never know who you're going to impact by telling them the truth.
Yes.
I told him last year, there's no white man in the world who's going to drop a drop of blood for you. Let's get that straight.
Funny you said that because I was at work and it was a young man who was a security guard, and a Jewish person came through the scanner, and I was sitting there, and he said to the Jewish guy, he said, you know, I'm learning Judaism. I'm learning Judaism. You know, God wasn't paying him any attention. And
they don't like us.
No, no, they don't.
They hate us.
And I said to him, I said, what did you say again? He said, you know, I'm studying Judaism. I said, let me talk to you. I took him up in one of the courtrooms that was quiet. I think we was in that courtroom for over an hour. And I told him, don't you ever say that to one of them again, because they hate you with a passion. They have love for you. And I had to tell him who he was, Bantu, and broke it down to him and pointed him to scriptures and pointed him to certain things. And he sat there and he was like, wow.
Wow.
I told him when I got home, there were some books that I wanted you to get to read And I sent them. The one thing about me, when I tell somebody I'm going to do something, if they ask me to pray for them, I do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I never not do it. I
Yes.
always do it, and I always have gotten myself in a habit of doing that. And I told him, I say never. I told him who they were and everything, and I told him never say that because they don't care. Half of them don't even follow it themselves. But for you to follow, and they looking at you like you crazy because they say
Like you're a piece of dirt.
right. They said
Mhm.
their minds. You don't even know who you nigga. You don't even know who you are.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And I
That's right.
told them that they were imposters.
Yep.
Imposters.
Yes.
Imposters.
I told them
They
never,
are imposters.
not a nan. I told them, don't you ever forget this conversation that I'm telling you.
And he will not.
Mhm. He
He
sure
came
won't.
across your path at an appointed time.
Yes.
There's an
Yes.
appointed time. When I go out in the street, there's an appointed time that each person come across my path.
Mhm.
They receive it, their heart is open, they hear it. And not only that, I'm like you. If I tell them I'm going to send them something, I send them videos. I share this with them. I share the letters that the missionaries wrote about Africa. I send them Leopold's letter. I share to build their knowledge up.
Yes.
Because there's an army boiling in Africa waiting for the right information.
Yep.
That they know who they are. And it's here. It's here. It's here.
Yes. Yes.
It's here.
So just real quick, and
Powerful.
then we're gonna let you all
Powerful.
go and let Elder go because I know it's getting late over there. You too, Mama Bantu.
Yeah, it's almost 9 p.m.
Yes, yes. This has truly been beautiful, powerful. We got extra,
Beautiful. Yes.
and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Real quick, Elder Jabulani. On the moon, of course, we know that we have been taught over here that the new moon is when you don't see the moon, and that is not true. The Bible talks about how they seek to change times and laws, in which they have done. And this is why we're seeking to get it back. And so I had said earlier in opening, I said the moon is our time clock. And I could venture to say, which is true, it is our calendar. So when we see the sliver, that first sliver of light, that is the new moon. And it is at that moment, this is my question. It is at that moment when we see that sliver of light, when we start counting, that will be day one.
Yes, on the lunar days, yes, that's the day number one. Because remember, when the moon, there's no light at all in the moon, it means that it's at its highest position. But new moon means there is a first light that is appearing. So it should. That's why people like myself, sometimes in Joburg, I won't see it because it's happening at a lower position. So if there are tall buildings, I won't be able to see it. But for people who are in where you don't have tall buildings around where you are, you will see it because it's happening at a lower. It's at a lower position. So there must be a slight light that is appearing. That's why it's called new moon. If there is no light at all, it's not. So the reason they tell us lies is that we should disconnect with the power of the new moon. Even with the full moon, we know that the full moon happens for 3 days, but the official one is the 15th day one. So they will play around with where the full moon is just to throw us off. So if you know that 2019, if you've got an Excel, if you know that 2019, that's when the whole thing started together. And you know that the current year has an extra day that is false. You just put your Excel, it will never go wrong. As long as you put it with your Excel and it's right, and I do have the Excel, I sent it to you, Mazam as well. You can share it with anyone who wants it. You will never go wrong. Because as soon as that light appears, it means that's a new moon. But if there is nothing that you see and you are in a clear country, it means it's just the new moon is not yet there.
All right.
Got it. Thank you.
Boom.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, Elder Nzambi, can you send that to me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm trying
sir.
to learn it and get it down pat.
Yes, me also.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Me
Brenda
too.
and I.
Me too.
All right.
Don't leave me out. On anything and everything that y'all are gonna send, just keep it
That's
in
right.
mind.
I know that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna just get out there now. Right.
Yeah, this goes for everything.
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 Send it.
I want it all.
Yes.
I want it all.
Learn, I want to learn.
Yes, yes. So we definitely are getting back to our roots, to who we
Yes.
are. And so
So good.
yes. So Brenda and I, we've been looking out almost daily, nightly, at the moon.
Yeah.
And, we got our daughter-in-law interested, So
Good.
all right. Well, if there's nothing else, family.
We are a powerful people. We are
Yes,
a
we are.
powerful people.
Yes,
The
we
earth
are.
misses us. The earth misses us being in power.
Yes.
It
Yes.
misses us being in power.
Yes. Understand, we are God's in flesh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And this
Yes.
is our kingdom. We are
It
walking
is our
and
kingdom.
living in our kingdom.
Yes.
And I've shared this
Yes.
with you all before. I know some of you that every time we eat, drink, put things in our mouth is coming from our mother because she's a nurturer. And so let us remember that when we give thanks, let us thank
Yes.
Mama Ndombe,
Yes.
okay? Because it's coming from her.
Yes.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. So, all right, family. Love you all so much. Appreciate
Yes.
you.
Love you
Appreciate
too.
everyone. Appreciate
And
everyone.
I'm going to share something with you all when we get off here, just real quick. And
Okay.
but everyone else, YouTube, Facebook, love you. May Tata Nzambi be with you. Mama Ndombe be with you. Continue to guide you and direct you. Keep your ears open to hear from your elevated Bakulu of the light. They're waiting on you. They're waiting for you to call them. The church said, stay away from rituals because rituals is sorcery, is demonic. That is not so. If you look at the church, they do rituals every Sunday. They do rituals every Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever they have choir rehearsal, whenever they have Bible study, that's a ritual.
Communion.
Okay, communion. Yes, it's a ritual. So they're saying to you to stay away from your elevated Bakulu of the light. But it is your elevated Bakulu of the light who are in the presence of Tata Nzambi and that are guiding you, and they're calling you and saying to you, we're here waiting for you. Yes. Call us. We're ready to help you. Know who you are, my brothers and sisters. Yes. Ye are God's. Yes. Walk in it. It's not about being proud. It's not about having your nose up in the air. I know who I am. I'm a God. No, it ain't about that. But it's about walking in humility. We no longer are dealing with what the Mundele, these evil beings, have been dishing out to us. We're no longer tolerating that. No more. Speak against it. Destroy it. Destroy it. All right? Use your words. Just like Tata Nzambi created the earth, everything, he spoke it. We have that same power because we're made in his image after his likeness. Know who you are. Love you greatly. You all be increased. and we will see you soon. BASSEH.